The corridors of the Arcanith research station gleamed with sterile precision, every surface polished by automated drones. Yet, when the drones failed, it was always the same human who carried the mop and bucket. Samuel Graves was not a soldier, nor a scientist, nor a diplomat. He was a janitor, a quiet man in his late 50s who kept the station clean while the galaxy's brightest minds unraveled the mysteries of the universe. Most aliens regarded him as invisible, a background fixture like the hum of the engines. The Crawl turned their weapons upward, but it was useless. Flames hotter than plasma poured from dragon maws, reducing warriors to ash. Claws tore through armor like paper. Wings smashed squads against the walls. The corridor became a battlefield of fire and fury. Samuel stumbled out of his hiding place, staring in disbelief. The largest dragon, the one with silver scales, lowered its head to him. A scar traced across one wing, exactly where Samuel remembered it being broken. "You," Samuel breathed. "You came back." The hatchling had grown, impossibly, terrifyingly, magnificently. And it had not come alone. The dragons fought like living storms, driving the Crawl back through the station, out into the void, and into retreat. What moments before had been certain annihilation turned into a blazing triumph. The survivors of the station, stunned and trembling, gathered in the hangar as the silver-scaled dragon landed before them. It lowered its massive head to Samuel, bowing. Then it opened its maw, and spoke, not in words, but in a resonance that filled every mind present. "He who mended the broken shall never stand alone." The other dragons echoed the vow with a chorus of roars that rattled the walls. Samuel, the janitor no one noticed, the man with no titles or medals, stood at the center of it all, the one who had shown kindness when no one else would. The Crawl would whisper for centuries about the day their fleets were torn apart not by soldiers, not by weapons, but by a legion of dragons bound by loyalty to a human janitor. And Samuel Graves, mop still in hand, realized with quiet astonishment that the galaxy would never again see him as invisible. The prison asteroid of Kargath was not a place for hope. Floating in the black void between dead suns, it was a tomb built to hold the galaxy's worst offenders, murderers, warlords, cannibals, and species too dangerous to be trusted in open society. The guards did not fear their jobs because of riots or rebellion, but because every prisoner was a nightmare waiting to happen. When they dragged in the new arrival, the guards tightened formation. Species designation, human, the intake officer read aloud, his voice wavering. Class 15 Deathworld origin. The guards exchanged uneasy glances. Most had heard of humans in rumor alone, feral apex predators from a world that devoured the weak. No one had expected the Galactic Council to send one here. The restraints hummed as the figure stepped off the transport shuttle. He was tall, scarred, with eyes that seemed to measure every angle of the room. Yet instead of snarling or resisting, he raised his hands casually. "Where do you want me?" He asked in a tone that sounded more like a construction worker reporting for shift than a monster about to be caged. The guards blinked. One of them, a four-armed Orythan named Jurok, muttered, "Is he mocking us?" The human, whose intake file listed him simply as Mason, grinned. "Nope. Just figured I'd make this easy. You've got enough dangerous folk to deal with without me giving you trouble." It was disarming. Life in Kargath followed brutal rhythms, prisoners tore at each other in dominance games, and guards intervened only to prevent total slaughter. Yet Mason didn't play by the rules. He didn't pick fights, didn't posture. Instead, he talked, to the guards. At first, they thought it was manipulation. But as days turned into weeks, something strange happened. On night duty, Jurok found Mason repairing a broken food dispenser in the commons. "You're not authorized," Jurok began. It was wasting rations, Mason cut in, wiping grease off his hands. "Thought I'd fix it." "Saves you trouble, yeah." Jurok stared. No prisoner had ever helped them before. Another time, during a riot between rival clans of reptilian Seraph, Mason waded in, not to dominate, but to break it up. He shoved bodies apart with controlled precision, not killing, but making it clear that further bloodshed was pointless. When the guards arrived, the chaos had already ended. "Thought I'd save you some stun rounds," Mason said, shrugging. The guards began to talk among themselves. The human was helpful. Polite, even. Dangerous beyond measure, yes, but he seemed to wield his danger like a shield instead of a sword.